Guys, welcome to the TRM show. My name is Mathew Park. I have the amazing TRM mentor and coach, Isaac Miller, with us today for Coach's Corner. Every month we come to you live with this amazing man over here in beautiful Kansas City, home of the Detroit Lions. I'm just bugging you, Isaac.
You wish.
You wish. Oh, guys, we have a treat for you guys on the TRM show today. Looking forward, of course, sharing with you one of our clients. Isaac actually has coached in the last, probably 6 months, maybe a year now. Isaac, you've been coaching this client TRM?
I think cumulatively, it's been like almost a year and a half.
So I was really off.
There was a break in there.
Okay.
So
love it. Well, she's been a member of course, TRM for 2.5 years. She came in. You've been coaching her for, let's say, a year and a half. Been absolutely doing amazing things with, of course, her as well. And we're going to share. Isaac's actually going to share. I'm going to probe Isaac with some questions and have him share, of course, how he's helped this amazing human being, basically increase her business revenue by $6,000 over a month, with 4 things, of course, he's helped her implement in the last, month or two, even more than that, and grew her business. So, but as Isaac knows, he's now a devoted Detroit Lions fan. I apparently now have a cup in my counter. He gave me as a gift a Chiefs cup that I actually literally have every couple of days, buddy. I have a Chiefs cup. Today, actually, I have a TRM cup, bro. Okay. But next podcast, I'll bring the Kansas City Chiefs one. Okay, just for you.
All right, let's go. We'll convert you soon enough.
But I'm not going to wear the socks. Okay. My wife will.
We'll get you there. We got to warm you up.
All right, brother. Any thoughts you want to share, buddy? Kind of as we get this podcast rolling today, bud.
No. I'm ready to dive in. I'm ready to give as much value as possible in the tangible steps that people can take to increase their revenue, both online and in-person coaching, as this specific coach does both. And so these steps will kind of apply to either one. And then if I can, convert a few more Chiefs fans in the process, then we'll make that happen.
He actually got his word wrong. He actually made Detroit Lions fans, but it's okay. We forgive this wonderful human being. You know what I mean?
It's. I don't even know who your quarterback is anymore. They're all the same, and by that I mean they're not Patrick Mahomes. So
I give you that one. I kind of go back to the glory days of Barry Sanders, but unfortunately he's retired.
Yeah. There's going to be some like Gen Z kids listening to this thinking, who's Barry Sanders?
Go online, guys, and check him out. Isaac actually has a picture of him on his wall. So all right, team, let's get to it. We love kind of getting this thing going with some fun, but let's get into business and talk about how Isaac, of course, has helped this amazing coach, trainer, in-person online coach grow their business. So Isaac, there were 4 simple steps that you've helped this individual with. And I know, of course, you kind of showed this on the Monday on our team call. We'll kind of begin with the first one. And if you want to share that first one, I'll start there.
Yeah. So the 4 steps that we're going to break down, it starts with the foundation, which is your database, right? And this doesn't apply just to online. This is in person as well. So how do you build that database and activate? And then it goes into lead nurture. So what happens after you activate the database and people actually start to, show interest in what it is that you have to offer, and they become leads. Then we go lead nurture, and then we have the sales process, and then we have fulfillment and referral process. So these are the 4 key steps, but we'll dive into, how we're actually going to take action on these steps. Now, to start with the database, that very foundational step. Now, like I said, this client of ours, she is an online and in-person coach. So obviously we want her to maximize both of these. So how do we increase the database numbers, the amount of people in your database on both of these avenues? And so for her in person, I call this just working the floor, right? And when you work the floor, it's a lot of coaches, they neglect this part of the lead acquisition process. They're afraid of working the floor. Um, and then when they do, it's very salesy in terms of they just go straight up to someone in the middle of their set and be like, "Excuse me, are you interested in coaching?" And we're gonna be like, "No, get away from me, please." So what I had her do was every hour on the hour, she was grabbing a spray bottle and a towel. She was going and cleaning equipment. So one, she was doing something productive for the owner of the facility, who was like, "Oh wow, that's awesome," because now they're giving her a lot more opportunities and leadership in a lot more areas to acquire revenue. Even though she's already kind of a contractor based trainer there. But not just that, she was using it as a way to, one, gain reputation. If she is the only trainer taking care of equipment, going out of her way to make sure that things are clean and tidy, it's already setting her apart from the other staff. And while she's doing that, she's going to talk to everyone that she comes across. If she sees someone, on the bench press while she's cleaning the incline next to it, she's going to pump up that person on the bench. "Keep going, you're doing awesome." She's going to spot people who need a spot. She's going to engage and interact with everyone, and also keep kind of re-ingraining the fact that she is a trainer on staff, and if they need anything at all, not to hesitate to come get her if she's behind the desk or if she's just cleaning stuff and walking around. And very quickly that reputation starts to take root. And from there, you can actually start to, as you build these relationships, and it happens pretty fast, you start to then be able to inquire, like, how is your training programming going? Like, when I used to love teasing people and being like, "Hey, I see you crushing chest, but I mean, come on, when are you going to let me put you through a killer workout?" Right. And so, these coaches, her included, start adopting this kind of method. Next thing you know, the demand for her services, just from people already who are members in her gym, has shot up. So that's allowed her to build her database on the in-person side. Now, a great thing of that is she can also, a lot of those people don't need that one-on-one coaching, but they do need programming. They do need nutrition. So they also feed into her online database. Now, that working the floor also works with online, right? So, and it might not just be in your gym, but are you working the floor of your community? Jace always says, like, you should be a celebrity in your town before you can be like an influencer of an entire industry. If your town doesn't know that you're like the go-to nutrition and training coach, then you're not working the floor of your community enough. Are you making friends with other business owners? Are you, collaborating and working with other people? That's going to allow you to build up your database. And we've incorporated certain like strategic partnerships and, just going out into the community and networking and being a part of certain groups has allowed her to also grow her online database as well as the in-person database. And so this has allowed us to get the number of people into her system that she can nurture to become leads.
That's really good, Isaac. I love that. It's kind of cool to share or hear how you shared and coached her on, being she's an online coach and a in-person coach, a hybrid trainer. You've integrated really boots to the ground strategies that allowed her to exponentially multiply her lead generation that was indirect approach, which is fabulous. I love that. And then, take the most unobvious way, but obvious way to connect with people, to build trust. Like we talked with Tiara about the 5 or 12 touch points in a sales process. That first touch point might, like Isaac mentioned, could be cleaning the bench of the person. Second could be cleaning it again, saying hi to the next person over there. Third is, you're working on basically like, hey, they leave the gym, buy, hi, buy, whatever. And all of a sudden that leads into a consult, a client.
Yep, 100%.
That's awesome, man. What's number 2?
So number 2 is the lead nurture. So you have all this attention. You have people who understand who you are. And let's say, you talk to 10 people in the gym and 3 of them actually continue this conversation with you. Well, it takes building up trust, building up authority, and building up rapport or relationship to be able to get them into a recurring payment or a big, paid in full kind of ticket offer, right? So When we're looking at in person, it's actually, being able to utilize these relationships you build and the conversations you have and book consults. You don't just leave it dead in the water. You don't let that, boiling pot off the eye to cool back down. You get them booked on a consultation while the water is still boiling, right? An online database, we might have a lot of people in our database. Let's say, you have 500 to 600 people in your database. Well, as you're nurturing, understand that it is a numbers game. So whereas before she was maybe doing 1 to 2 conversations with her database a day, and out of that, it would take about a week to generate, 2 strong leads. Once she fully understood the game she was playing and understood that it is a numbers game, it became, 10 conversations a day, 15 conversations a day. And it's really understanding the numbers. It's, if it takes you 20 conversations to gain 5 leads, and it takes 5 leads to book 2 consultations and 2 consultations to convert 1 client, then you understand that you need to have like 60 to 80 conversations a week to convert, 3 or 4 clients. And so as soon as you understand those numbers, and a lot of people say, oh, that's a lot of numbers. No, that's actually pretty low compared to the average. So you have to understand the game you're playing. And then there's little things that we can do to increase those numbers, meaning, what are you messaging? How are you messaging them? How are you showing up? Are you immediately trying to go for a close, or are you actually nurturing this, lead? And so that goes into a framework that I talk about a lot with our one-on-one clients called the ask better questions framework, to lead them to what I call showing the string that you can pull, which is alluding to some kind of pain point, and then getting them to pull the string, which means they admit what the problem is and how that problem is actually affecting them. And which then you use social proof to show, like, I've actually helped other people with that exact same pain point. I would love to sit down and talk with you about what I did to help them that can help you, and just try and give you some value. And with that, we'll go into like either a 2-part close. Sometimes you close in the first one because they're just all for it. But if I'm going to tell someone I just want to give value, I don't want to sell on that. I'm going to do a 2-part close where you just give value and then you follow up. Did you take action? How did it work? Understand that this is just part 1 of the fix that you need. There's other parts. And having that secondary call or secondary meeting, you can express that and then actually sell them on a program or plan.
That's super good, Isaac. I like that. What's also unique about what Isaac mentioned, guys, is he mentioned it's a numbers game, right? So obviously when you're in the gym, so you're an in-person trainer and you're wanting to grow your database of clientele or even leads in the gym. Quality conversations are also obviously picking and choose quality with people is very important, right? So surface level is one thing. Quality combos are another thing. So if you're even talking to 10 or 20 people a day, but 3 to 5 of those are deep conversation on helping somebody and serving those people, that will increase your chance to bring that person in for a consult down the road, right? I'm sure Isaac done that with his gym. When I was a trainer back for a decade, I did that in that gym over there. So I was kind of sharing, ways, whether you're online or in person, but if you are in person and you, like Isaac mentioned, you're doing that in-depth, converse, say, 15, 20 a day, that adds up to 80, 90 a week, right? If you are an in-gym coach, right? Even online, you can use your platforms, right? You can look at doing boosted stuff or Facebook ads if you choose to, but you can also, there's a lot of gold in conversations without even doing any of that. Engaging in conversation, like Isaac mentioned, 20 a day or 10 per day can lead to consults from there. What's number 3, Isaac?
So number 3, the lead nurture, it flows right into this. It's the sales process, right? How can we optimize her sales process? And so it really, for the in-person, got to, as soon as that, I'll use the water in the pot analogy again. If you put, room temperature water into a pot and set it on the eye to boil, it's going to take a certain amount of time and then it starts boiling. But if you turn the eye off, the water will stop boiling. It'll cool down to room temperature, but then it acts upon the pot that the water is held in. And because the pot is typically something like cast iron or some kind of metal, that pot will cool down below the temperature of the water, which then causes the water to cool down more. So now that water goes below room temperature while in this pot. And if you turn it back on, the eye back on, it's going to take longer to get that water to a boil than it did before. And so this means that in the sales process, as soon as that water is boiling, that person is able to admit that there is a thing that is blocking them from where they want to be and how that is actually affecting them. If you're talking to someone that, went on vacation to Hawaii and they shared that they weren't able to finish their hike, right? That's the string. And you say, I saw on your social media that your kids were with you. Just curious, were you really excited to finish that hike with your kids? And they admit it was defeating to have to turn back around because their knee pain was so bad that they couldn't finish the hike with their kids. And then their kids missed out on being able to go to the top of the mountain and look over, the islands because of me, right? They admitted how that pain interacted with them. The water is now boiling. And so what this coach got really good at was identifying when the water was boiling and it was time to book a consultation, and then getting them into a system, which we have the TRM engine, that has these automated reminders and touch points up into the actual consultation. And this is the same for online and in person. In person, you have actual engagement. Another great thing for in person is if you don't want to take too much of their time, you ask them for something like their Instagram handle so you can continue the conversation. And this is a great way to continue this lead nurturing process. But as soon as you book that consult, you get them into the system, nurture them into the consultation. And then that sales process is really understanding. And this is a big thing that we switch for the in-person is it's no longer just giving them like a free session and then trying to sell them at the end, because you're really not connecting on that session. You can't do both at the same time. It doesn't work that way. So we move over to more of a strategy session or a consultation process that then you're really diving into, what is it that caused you to and triggered you to want to, be here? Because it's a huge win already. It takes massive action just to show up for this consultation. So what caused that? And figuring out that pain point. And then from there, you're going to, what has stopped you, or what have you tried in the past to make this goal a reality? Because now you can see where they're falling behind in terms of what they've tried before, and you can go ahead and solve those things with what you're going to do now. But then I like to future frame positive and negative. If in a perfect world we were sitting here 12 months from now and you decided like you wanted to take action, you partnered with us and you accomplished everything that you wanted to, in 12 months, looking back, how do you feel? How do you look? How do you sound? Like what did we accomplish? And they say all these amazing things. And then you flip it. You say, I'm sorry for having to do this, but I need to, because I need clarity here. Let's say in 12 months, we happen to brush past each other, but after this conversation, you didn't take action. Yeah. You decided that, now wasn't the right time, or you didn't want to make that investment, or you got nervous about something, or you were thinking too much about, the times you tried in the past, right? And you kept going on the trajectory that you've been on. And as you said before, your knee started hurting 2 years ago. It's gotten progressively worse. You couldn't finish the hikes. And, if it's progressively gotten worse, we can imagine it's probably still going to progressively get worse. What does that mean for you a year from now? How do you look? How do you feel? How do you sound? And they map out this kind of sad, depressing story. And so then it's being able to say, like, you strike me as a person that wouldn't want to accept that as your story. Am I wrong in saying that? No, you're absolutely not wrong. So then it's safe to assume that you want that first option, where you have this and this, and you feel this way, and you look this way. Yes, absolutely. Okay, perfect. Do you mind if I share with you how I can make that happen for you? and you ask permission to go into this next phase. And so this specific client, she got really good at being able to take them through this process and to really get the emotional story behind why they haven't gotten to where they want to go, where they actually want to go, and what it looks like if they don't take action. And then to be able to then go into what this offer actually is.
That's super good, Isaac. It's coming, like you said, guys, it's almost like Isaac is sharing this beautiful sales process when they come in, and the individual is sharing or understanding the emotional pain points. And Isaac also mentioned the follow-up process, the sales follow-up process, which is a combination of personal and automational pieces with the systems that we have in the TRM engine to maximize that client experience. Awesome job, man. To round things up, bud, what is number 4?
So number 4 is fulfillment and referral process. Now, this happens before the consultation actually happens. Something that we are implementing for her right now, and it's worked for myself and worked for many of the trainers that I've worked with, is especially in person. That this works really well in person. Is letting them know that, my job is to get you where you want to go, and my job is to give you the support and accountability to do so. But that being said, evidence and science shows in research that being able to start a difficult journey or some kind of self-perceived difficult journey is easier, and you'll get faster results when doing it with someone that you already trust, know, and have support from. So I'm curious, who will you bring with you to this consultation that would start this process and be in this journey with you so that you can rapidly see results fast, and you're doing this with someone that you already have this trust and support from? And typically we'd ask for 2 people, because if we ask for 2, they'll most likely bring 1. If we ask for 1, they'll most likely bring a goose egg, right? So we ask for 2. Now, if they don't bring anybody, that's perfectly fine, because you're still going to go through this process with them. But that's a great way to start bringing in referrals even before they sign up. But then when it comes to the fulfillment referral process, we want to make sure that they are getting consistent touch points in their onboarding. Oftentimes coaches will have like these 8 to 12 touch points to get them onto the consult. And then after that, it's like, okay, I'll have your plan done at this time. And then it's off. Or maybe they'll just send the recap of the offer. And then that's it. Well, you have to look at it from the perspective of the new client. They got all this attention. They got all this admiration. They got all this back and forth. And then they gave a large sum of money and got 1 or 2 messages. Now, on the coach's perspective, they're deep at work. They're working hard. But from the client's perspective, they feel like they just gave all their money and got ghosted. And so we want to make sure that there's touch points that almost equal the amount of touch points that they got to nurture them to the consultation. And so it's setting up the phasing of the onboarding. And within that phasing of the onboarding, one of the things that we ask for is referrals. And this onboarding lasts about 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks, where we're giving them a little bit each and every time. Now, if you're in person, you're still going to be seeing them and doing sessions in this period of time. If it's online, they're going to be working on the program, but it's not just the program. Onboarding is giving them information on, maybe you have affiliates that you're for, like a supplement company or a clothing brand or something. You're giving them, discount codes, and maybe you have a podcast. You're giving them the link to go subscribe to your podcast, your YouTube channel. Maybe you have a Facebook community or a community within the engine, right? And so you're getting them onboarded into that. And so instead of just dropping it all at once, we space this out. And so we're giving them motivation and nurturing them, as well as getting them onboarded into the specific systems during this week to 2 week process. And at the end, they've been warmed up and nurtured through this. They've been supported, and they've been getting the actual service. We ask for that referral, and we give some kind of incentive to that referral on the other end of that, whether that's a specific product or just a gift. I like to think of like specific gifts, because it's great to give someone, if we have a member at our gym that wants to sign someone up, it's cool that I can give them a prolific hat, right? but he always wears Chiefs, snapback hats. So how cool would it be if I actually got him a Chiefs hat, a brand new Chiefs hat? Nothing to do with Prolific, but it's from Prolific. It doesn't need to have anything to do. It's going to have more sentimental value to him if it actually means something to him, right? So I don't use the referral incentives as a way to just plug myself. I might include things like that, like a free guest pass or something, but I'm going to give something that actually means something to the person that's receiving it. That goes a lot further. And so in this onboarding process, we're going to include messaging about the referral and the referral incentives and a step-by-step process of how to give us the referral, like a three-way message, right? If they have, our number with this specific mentee, she would give them her email and give them a sample of what a good three-way email or a three-way text would look like for like WhatsApp, for example. And they will introduce the lead via WhatsApp or email, and then the coach can take it from there and book that consultation or invite them for a free session with their friend and do the consultation, but actually go through the full consultation process either before or after that session, but giving them, something of value and giving the person who referred value as well.
Nice. I think Isaac actually kind of meant Detroit Lions cap as opposed to a Kansas City Chiefs cap, but that's okay. I apologize, guys, for that misunderstanding. But that was good, Isaac. There's something magical when Isaac shared about the fulfillment process. Now, one thing we do in TRM, just to give you guys some transparency, is when someone joins TRM, as Isaac mentioned, the onboarding fulfillment is very important. That 1 week or 2 week process, right? There's actually a 14-day process whenever a client comes in our program. So for example, let's say that I have a call with somebody, they want to get into TRM. Amazing. I'm sure Isaac has his process for Prolific as well. When they say yes and they sign up, they're going to get an automatic, folder of all their information given to them within seconds of onboarding, right? So they can go put all their information, do all their, cool stuff, look all the videos, all that kind of cool stuff. Onboarding call with Tanny, basically after a day or two after that, onboarding, an actual live onboarding call with Tanny. Then we go into the first coaching call. A couple of days after that, boom. Then another coaching call. Then actually on the TRM group calls every single week, like literally within the first 7 days. Then the TRM engine onboarding call. Then if you're coaching with Isaac, work with Isaac Miller for some coaching, right? So basically, and you're going to be dripped information beyond that in this process. Like Isaac mentioned, you're given the micro wins in the process, which is very important to keep the client supported and also get these small mini little good job over here, great work over there, here's some more information for you right there, as opposed to giving them everything in the first day and getting overwhelmed. They're going to get the nuts and bolts and keep building upon that.
Love it. Yep. And to put this into kind of retrospect, this coach just implementing this step-by-step process from, stranger to lead to nurturing into the sales and then to the fulfillment and referral process. Just within about 3 weeks, she was able to go from, a 7K or what was supposed to be a 7K month to a 13.3K month. So she gained just over about, $6,000 in doing these steps, right? So it really goes into if you map out what this journey looks like and create a process and stick to this process, it works. It absolutely works.
That's awesome, man. Really good stuff, guys. Well, guys, there's your 4 key simple steps, guys. Isaac mentioned to you which are gold steps, guys. Make notes of these, of course, as you're growing, revolving your own coaching business. Isaac, where can people find you online, buddy? Obviously your handle is on the screen here, those that are listening in the audio.
Yep, at the Prolific Professor on social media, on Instagram. And if you have questions at all about, TRM, you obviously can reach out to Mathew or myself, Isaac at trainerrevenuemultiplier.com. And if you want to see examples of what my business looks like, you can go to www.prolificgym.com or at Prolific Health, at Prolific Health and Fitness on social media. So you can see, some of the ways that we do marketing on my end that I've learned through TRM. We utilize the same steps and same, things that we teach because, well, they work.
Lead by example. Lead by example. That's it. So guys, you can follow us at TrainRevenueMultiplier.com or website, whatever you guys want to use for your IG or Facebook page. I'm at official Mathew Park with 1T on social media. Guys, share this post, screenshot this post. It's definitely full of value for you guys to use for your own businesses. If you have any questions, Isaac mentioned, he gave you where to find us. You can also find us every week on our group calls as well, guys. If you're a part of TRM actively or not, definitely should join and grow your coaching company as well. Guys, it's been a pleasure, Isaac, as always, my man, having you on the show, buddy, every month to learn and dive deep, buddy. Thanks, bud.
I appreciate it. Excited.
Even though you're a Lions fan, I totally understand, brother. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. I know how hard it can be and tough it can be when you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or even burnt out in growing your business. I have been there, so I can relate. So before you wrap up, I want to offer you something special, free of charge, as my gift to you. It's our TRM Business Assessment. If you go to trainerrevenuemultiplier.com, you can get a copy of that. There's a link on the homepage to grab that assessment. This will give you clarity you need to see where your company is at right now, the bottlenecks you're facing or where you're possibly stuck in the business, and what steps you can take to move forward to grow it to the next level. And if you want to go one step further, we can book a call together and I can personally go over your results with you and give you a roadmap you can move forward with to grow to the next level. Head over to the website. Let's get some clarity together. I look forward to speaking to you soon, and I wish you an amazing day. Take care. Let's keep rocking.